Happy Saturday, Striver. I hope as you enter this weekend, you enter the weekend with a sense of grounding, a centeredness, a happiness, a nice little break from the regular week. And even if you have things to do, or you have lots of errands to run for the family, and you've got some hot side projects you want to try out, still some passions to chase. You're going to get outside, go work out, have a busy weekend. I still hope that you allow yourself to mentally and emotionally reset. Now, most of you know I'm a certified high-performance coach. And so that means I literally spend most of the week actually talking with people and coaching with people over these last 15 years of my life. And what I've learned as a coach is that a lot of folks, when they look back on their week, they don't feel good about it. And yet sometimes we all advance and we crush it and we look back and we're too optimistic or too sort of bright and shiny about it, and we don't look at the things we really learned. So I encourage you either way, make sure today you go into your Growth Day app and you do your weekly review. Now, I know some of you do it on Saturday, some of you do it on Sundays, which I'm bringing up today. But what I'd like you to do is make sure this weekend you go into the journal section and you press the button that says weekly review, and you just capture some of your learnings from this last week. I promise it will help you. But listen, I know that when people look back to the week, sometimes they don't like it. They feel like they made too many mistakes. In fact, I was just talking with a client the other day who was repeating over and over that she made too many mistakes in her life. She was on her second marriage, so she made a big mistake with her first one, she felt. She had a mistake in her business that almost cost her everything. She had made multiple relationship, career, and health mistakes throughout her life that she regretted. And the problem is, when we obsess about mistakes, we kill our momentum. Let me say it again. When we obsess about our mistakes, we kill our momentum. And suddenly, no momentum, no happiness, no progress, no growth. And so today's session is about no mistakes. This philosophy that, to me, everything that we experience in our life, we can discern whether it's good or bad, right or wrong, happy or sad. But I feel, for me personally, that we do get things wrong. And it's okay to call them wrong. Sometimes you've done something bad and it was stupid and you were wrong. And it was a mistake or it was a bad intention. And we've got to call it wrong and set a new standard and improve. But there's also that weird spiritual philosophy you've probably heard of before. No mistakes. Everything is meant to be. And I also kind of believe that. So where do we land? One extreme is everything's supposed to happen. Another extreme is, no, you know what? Some things we got to take accountability for, and some things are bad and are wrong. I kind of meet in the middle. And I believe that instead of calling it a mistake or right or wrong, I just try to ask, is there something to learn from this? Can I learn something from this? What could I learn from this? What new distinctions have I made? What new standards should I set? What new processes should I follow? What new self-rules should I set? What new boundaries do I need to create? What new lessons do I need to go learn? What new skills must I develop? See, instead of going, I'm a mistake, I'm done, I'm dumb, I just go, let me ask a series of questions right here. What distinctions, what skills, what new rules? And as soon as you flip a mistake into a learning opportunity, you get to hurdle over the hurt. You get to hurdle over the shame, to hurdle over the fear, the disappointment, the discouragement, the anger. You get to kind of like leapfrog over those things. Doesn't mean you can't feel those things and sense those things, because again, I do believe there's good and bad. I do believe there's right and wrong. I believe that we must have a value ethic of setting standards for ourselves and other people in society. Otherwise, we'd have a lot of really mean things happening in the world. But if you keep beating yourself up for old mistakes, which is what my client was doing, the problem is you beat yourself in the ground and you kill your momentum, you kill your growth, and you kill the very opportunity that was given to you to learn, to get better, to skill up, and to level up. So if you made some mistakes this last week, take it as a learning opportunity. Second, let it go. Let it go. I truly believe most people, and I know this sounds flippant, but I really do believe most people hang on to old hurts, old stories, embarrassing situations, frustrating situations, traumas, difficulties too long. And it's not a judgment of them, but rather it's that those things are easy to hold on to and to keep. And some of those things happen at unconscious levels where we need assistance, therapy, or coaching to overcome. But here's what I do know. We all need a practice for that. We got to have a weekly session. I have so many moving parts in my life. I need a daily session where I let go the frustrations, hurt, shame, embarrassment, disappointments, struggles of the day. Let go of the mistakes. And so what I do, as many of you know, is I do a release meditation technique. It's called RMT, Release Meditation Technique. You can look it up on YouTube. I've been blessed to teach over 2 million people around the world this. RMT, Release Meditation Technique, means you just take a moment out of the day. You can sit down or lie down, hopefully in a place that's quiet or in a place where you're by yourself. And you do a mantra-based meditation, which means you close your eyes and you repeat a mantra to yourself. And that mantra is literally the word release. And so if you've made a mistake, look for the learnings, but sometimes, you know what, your emotions are all caught up into it. And so you can close your eyes, maybe do some self-soothing, but ultimately what I do is I close my eyes and I have the goal to let go of my thoughts and feelings about this, and to let go of the tension in my body. Now that's an important one to me because when I make a mistake, I get tense. My jaw clenches up. I just feel tension in my muscles. My stomach kind of gets tight and churning. And what I got to do is just take a nice deep breath. I like to breathe in deep 3, 4, 5 times. And then I start saying out loud the word release. Release, 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 release. And I repeat that word out loud several times. And then eventually I take the word into my mind. So I'm still saying it in my mind. I'm not saying it out loud anymore, just in my mind. And I just keep repeating it. Now, as inevitably other thoughts come up and scenes and images and thoughts and feelings, I allow them to happen, but I just report back and check in with my mantra and keep saying my mantra, release. And I attempt to release the thoughts and the feelings and the tension. And I do that every day for 20 minutes. Now, you might do it once a week, but I believe one session a week should be really focused on, did I make any mistakes this week? And can I let them go? Now, your mistakes might be something you said to somebody, and you shouldn't have said it, or they gave you feedback you shouldn't have said it, or you were supposed to do something with a project and you turned it in and it was subpar and you knew it, but you knew it was a mistake. Maybe you did something that hurt someone else's feelings. Maybe you made a wrong decision. And I believe as conscious adults, we can sit with that. And we can choose to either sit with that and hate ourselves, or we can sit with that and learn to get perspective by learning from it, but then also letting go of its grip on our mind and our psyche. That's what I mean by using that release meditation. I'm going to let that mistake go and let its grip of me go. Third, I believe if the first thing we can do from a mistake is learn, the second thing we can do is let go, the third thing is launch forward. It is very easy to make a mistake and quit. People go to launch their business or their new thing, and you know what? The first promotion doesn't go right. They made some mistakes. It didn't generate what they thought. It's easy at the mistakes or the poor results to quit, to become discouraged so that you no longer take an action. But soon as I make a mistake and I let it go, I go, okay, what's the next right action of integrity for me? Take the action today. What's the next move? Take it today. Do something on that very single day or the very next day after my release meditation to move it forward to what that means. Make an apology, send an email, complete the project, pick myself up again and go again. Whatever it is, I'm going to launch forward from a mistake. I will never sit and stew in a mistake for days, weeks, months, years, or decades on end. And a lot of people make that mistake. I bet you know somebody who made a mistake once and they were so hard on themselves that they kind of paused their life. They kind of held it against themselves so much and so hard and for so long that suddenly they stopped dreaming. They stopped trying. They stopped believing in themselves. And then they stewed in that regret, in that shame, in that hurt, in that fear, in that disappointment, in whatever quote unquote negative emotion they had, and they kept reliving it. And the mistake killed the momentum for them. Maybe you know somebody personally who's one time made a mistake and stopped. But make this day the day that you get that forward momentum again. Launch forward. What's the next right action of integrity? To right this thing or get back on the bike and get going again? What would you have to do to make some small step or take one small gesture to just move it forward? What could you do today, in fact? This day, it's Saturday. What could you do today to move forward a little bit from something that you halted because you made a mistake? Maybe you can go into your journal and capture any mistakes you made and what you could do, one small step to move forward again. I highly encourage that. This is part of my, let's just call it weekly review. I know some of you guys have teased me on this on the internet, calling me, Brendan's got this weekly cleansing he does, and some people think it's a health or a gut detox I do. But no, it's a mental detoxing I do. It is, you know what? I'm not going to carry these mistakes around. I can acknowledge them, be real, be honest, learn from them, but then let go of their grip and choose to take another small step forward. When we do that, we can get back on track. When we do that, we can actually accelerate and grow and expand and evolve and become more conscious human beings from the very mistakes we make. But we need that practice of sitting with it, learning from it, letting it go, and choosing how to move forward today. When we do that, we live that truth that every day is a great day to grow. All right, if you love this daily fire today, quick reminder, comment on it down below. What did you learn? What do you think? What do you have to share? This is about social learning in Growth Day. We learn from each other. We have that humility to learn from each other, but we also have that service leadership mindset where we want to share our life lessons with one another. So what have you learned about this topic? Put it in the comments down below and then get your growth streak.